Now that we have our procedural city created, we can select some panels and compare them to glass. So for that, first of all, we're gonna be splitting the horizontal and vertical panels, and we're gonna be using the normal directions to select whatever is vertically and horizontally. But at the moment, the primitives, they don't have any normal attributes, so we're gonna have to generate them with a normal node. Set this to primitives. And now in a spreadsheet, we have the normal values, and we can use a blast node to isolate the horizontal and vertical panels. I'm gonna run this through primitives, and we're gonna access the normal y value, and if this is equal to 1, which is going up, and if this is also equal to -1, it will be deleted, and we get the vertical panels, and we can copy this and just select the delete non-selected to select the opposite. So this is horizontal, and vertical panels. So now to randomize the selection of the panels, I'm gonna be using a little bit of code with the attribute wrangle. And it's a very simple line of code. It's not that complicated. So what are we gonna be doing? We're gonna be using the prim number to generate a random value. And if this value is below a certain number, it will be a glass, otherwise it will be a solid. So for that, we're gonna be using the random function and passing the prim num, which is a primitive number. And we want to fit this, which this is gonna give us a value from 0 to 1, and we're gonna fit it between 0 and 4. And this would give us a random value from 0 to 4. Now we want to create a condition if this value is less than 1, with open brackets. We're gonna be creating an attribute called glass, and we'll set it to 1. And so in our spreadsheet, we need to make sure there's some primitives. Some of the primitives will have a 1 or a 0 depending on the random value generated. And to visualize this better, we can use a color node. And with the attribute glass, if it's equal to 1, it will be color blue. And so these are our glass panels. We can randomize the seed by adding just a number, and we'll get a different result. Also, we can increase or decrease the range or change the number that we're comparing to get a center percentage of glass. So if I lower this to 2, I'll have about 50% of the panels, because and if I increase this, I will have less. So something that works for this tutorial, I'll just give it to 4, which is about like 20 to about 20%, 20 to 25% maybe. And now that we have a glass attribute, we can isolate those panels and extrude them to get the glass panes. But instead of doing the whole city, I'm just gonna do it onto one single container for efficiency. So I'm gonna replace the points with our single point. And in here, we can use poly extrude. We're going to be selecting the primitives that has an attribute glass, which is equal to 1. And we're going to inset it, make sure it's individual elements. And also it gives us an option to output groups, and we can output the front group, which is this parameter right here, and we're gonna call it inset. And with this group we can extrude it again, and in this case we're gonna be using the group instead of an attribute, and here we'll extrude it with the distance. And again, we can export a group. We'll call it glass pane, so it doesn't conflict with our glass attribute. And now if we put this on the color and change the group to, instead of an attribute, to be the group glass pane, we get the parameters with the blue color, which are the glass. And we're going to be using this to split whatever is solid and glass. Now if we plug in our points, it will iterate through all our modules. And this is what we get. Just a few more steps left. We want to merge back the vertical and horizontal panels. And also split them again. In this case, we're going to be using the glass pane to separate them. And this will be the solid. And this will be the glass. One thing that we need to do, since we split the horizontal and vertical panels, they're separate objects, and we can see that they're 2 points on top of each other, and we need to merge them. So with a fuse and a very low tolerance, they will fix it. And so now they're a closed object, or a continuous object, because it has a hole for the glass. And one last thing, we can create a null to have a better organization. And here we call this out solid, out glass, and it should be good to go. Now you can save this geometry and can save it as a OBJ or an FBX and import it into your 3D software. And that's it. Thank you for watching this tutorial, and if you have any questions, suggestions, please leave them on the comments below. Thank you.